Tonya
I feel like
Pinkins.
we're not acknowledging that sex is a hunger, a drive as equal to eating, and that we have to figure out how to manage it appropriately. And nobody wants to talk about that. People don't want to talk about sex as a drive because they want to make it dirty. It's not dirty. It's something that was put in us biologically, and it has to be fed.
Well, they do say sex drive. They do. Let me bring in somebody that teaches. I think she does like a tantric dancing lesson where you get people awakened in the nether regions. I think that's one of her superpowers: belly dancing and tantric sex something. In addition to healing the soul through tea, one tea bag at a time. And let me just say, before I welcome you in, thank you. You sent me something. I was surprised because I was like, I already got some Activia. I just bought a whole bunch, and I was like, bags. Tea bags, I could just drop it in my mug. You better go ahead, Dr. Sunyatta. Maybe you changed my world because sometimes you don't want to steep. You don't want to sit there and wait 5 minutes. Got the thing, got the little strainer, gotta wait, and then dip, and then throw the stuff out. And then I gotta now I gotta wash out my strainer. Like I have this whole process, and it takes too long. Throwing that bag in, I think I went through the whole thing this week. So thank you. You gave me some sorrel, and which is lovely. And the Activia in bags. I was like, you rock. Let me welcome the TEO of Calabash Tea and Tonic, the one and only Dr. Sunyatta. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure to be here with you today, Professor Hunter. Tonya Pinkins, let me tell you something. I just bow to your greatness. I bow.
Well, thank you. And I thank you for my teas. I haven't gotten to have my teas. They came yesterday. I was using my foot spray and my frankincense and myrrh, and I'll have some tea tonight. So thank you so much for that gift to me.
Thank you. That fresh foot is the business. I love it.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
I want more brothers to use it. Oops.
Well,
there it is. I said
I was going to say my feet are fine. So I'm going to brag on my feet. My feet are sparkling. So, Tonya was saying something about sex being a drive. Do you agree with that?
Sex is a drive. Tonya, you said sex is not dirty. I'd say unless you're doing it right. If you're doing it right, then it should be. But really, seriously, right. Seriously though, it is our raison d'etre as human beings, as animals. I mean, we are animals, and we still have that reptilian brain that's, you see somebody walking by, like, ooh, wee. But the truth of the matter is that I can often tell when somebody is not well by asking them about their libido. So if their libido is low, if the other sex characteristics are not bubbling, like I don't see a glow to the face, the cheeks, I don't see like a redness to the lips, like the lips look a little, and I'm saying everyone, not just like, oh lady, it's everyone. If I'm not seeing hair in certain areas where it should be, and hair in areas, if I'm seeing stuff that shouldn't be in certain areas, and when I say shouldn't, I mean this is a shift in hormones, and this tells me a story about how much iron you're getting, how much mineral is in your body, how much B vitamin is present. These are stories that the body is telling because sex is so important to human beings that it's the first thing to go. I want you to hear what I'm saying. It's the first thing to go. So if enough nutrients are not available, if there's not enough water available, if there's too much stress in an environment, the body will shut down and recalibrate. It will remove those resources from sex functions, from what we call beauty, right, into an attractiveness, into survival. It will go into survival mode. And that fight, flight, fright just sucks all of what we like to call a lot of times the oxidants, the antioxidants out of your body, leaving those free radicals to just roll around because stress, right? So the body can be under stress because of what we think of as like anxiety or stress. It can also be atmospheric stress, like systemic stress, just being of color and being in this country. Can also be relationship stress, right? And those relationships are fraught with all kinds of interconnectivities. And it can also be stress we put on ourselves with the lack of forgiveness of, hey, I should be at this point by now. I should be doing this by now. Why is this happening? And why does this person have this and I don't? And those stressors will kill our sex drive like that.
So what about people, Dr. Sunyatta, who take them little blue pills that give them instant sex drive, the artificial, the artificially inspired? Does that have a deleterious effect on the health? Is that, are you tricking the body? What, and does it last?
Of course you're tricking the body. I mean, the very fact that a little blue pill is called Viagra, which is a play on the word vigor, right? To have vim and vigor, which we used to say has life, right? When you talk about vivaciousness and vigor and vim, these are all the V words that mean life. And so if one is not achieving, let's just call a thing, right? If you're not achieving erections, then what it's telling me is that there's something else wrong. I'm not casting any aspersions on anyone who feels that they need this medicine. Get what you got to get done. However, what I want us to look at is the deeper issue, right? No pun intended. So what we want to do is always examine why is that the case? If someone comes in here and says to me, I'm having trouble, and I ask this gentleman, like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? Usually it's a blood pressure issue, but let's say the blood pressure is normal. I need to understand what's going on in the noodle, right? Between the ears. Is there other stress that's involved? Is it your nutrition? I want to get to it, because just relying upon something that doesn't actually improve your libido, it's not affecting your libido. That just affects the ability to have an erection, which is not the same thing. That drive is not what that blue pill does.
So you're saying that when the thing makes the erection, they can go through the motion, but that energetic electricity of the sexuality is not there present, but they can perform sex without having all of the electrical impulses that go with the good feelings of it.
Right. And any of the emotion, well, you got to ask about American society in particular, right? It's just, there's this thing about supersize me, right? Which falls into the sex category too, which is instant. I want a pill for this. I need this right now. I want it supersized. I need to show off, or I need to perform. The very fact that it's called a performance, you're not on stage. We are either partners in this, or you're by yourself and you're doing whatever you're doing. Like, there shouldn't be a need to have to perform. And a lot of times that's the anxiety behind it too. So if there are health related issues, it's good to find out, going to your urologist or your primary care physician. And then also, like, if there are not physical issues, what is going on? And from a traditional aspect, when we open our hearts, when we have that interconnectivity between one person and another, those things, it's what they used to call in the 1940s, the things that go bump in the night, right? They're polite terminologies, right? So it should nature, when they say let nature take its course, there's nothing natural about things taking its course like that. But like I said, I'm not throwing all tea, all tea, no shade, right?
Yes. On do people throw tea.
Yes, I do. Who need these medicines, do what you need to do, but also let's figure out something, right? Let's see if it's blood pressure medicines that are keeping your blood pressure low, and blood pressure is what makes erections happen. God bless blood pressure. But then we don't want it high. And so if that's the case, let's see how we can get to these other places. Those medicines are important too. We don't want nobody stroking out. You cannot not take that medicine. You have to do all the things, right?
Dr. Sunyatta's here. Dr. Sunyatta Amen. Tonya Pinkins is here. She'll be tomorrow in the Hudson Yard area of Manhattan at the Little Island. She's going to be performing and looking fabulous and sounding great. And we're going to pray for the weather, even though the weather did give, it came back. People, I think they prematurely ejaculated your show.